The City of Trees, nickname given to Idaho's capital city before it was even a city. As you probably have heard, the story goes, after trekking through the desert on the Oregon Trail, well, before it was even that, I believe, French fur trappers came upon the Boise River Valley. And when they saw the view from the high desert, they shouted, "Le bois, le bois," which translates roughly to the wood or the trees, which way you want to put it. The name stuck, but in the middle of a vast desert region, where did all those trees come from? There weren't as many then as there are now, that's for sure. Well, today at least, there's a small plot of land the city of Boise uses as an arboretum.
It's in a little bit of an obscure location. In fact, a lot of people don't know it's even located here.
What is here is kind of like the training ground for the City of Trees. The Boise City Arboretum, which sits appropriately on Warm Springs Avenue, not far from the home once owned by Laura Moore Cunningham. Why does Mrs. Moore matter to this nursery narrative? Well, she was the daughter of C.W. and Catherine Moore, well-known residents of Boise's early days. Born in 1869, when she wasn't volunteering her time, Laura liked to spend it in her garden. So when she died in 1963, her family donated several acres to the city, and that became this arboretum.
This last year, this tree grew from here to right here.
The farm has flourished as well.
We have about 600 trees in this nursery, and they are primarily used to replant in our parks and in our right-of-ways. So anytime a tree is removed in our park and right-of-way, we will use it. We also use it for new plantings as well.
They say variety is the spice of life, and it's essential to choosing trees. There are 200 different trees found in Boise. 50 to 75 varieties are grown here. But who tends to the trees?
I think a lot of our citizens aren't aware that we actually have a city forester, and by city code has jurisdiction over some 43,000 plus trees that we have in our inventory. So when you look at the city structure, we have a city attorney, we have a city engineer, and in Parks and Recreation, we also have a city forester.
This is a sugar maple.
Meat?
Super popular. People love sugar maples, and they do pretty well here.
Mike Andrews, a metropolitan, non-literary Lorax, if you will.
We are essentially the stewards of the trees. We manage the trees. We prune them. We remove them. We inspect trees. We plant trees. We grind stumps. And we just field questions day to day that the public has about trees.
Like, where are Boise's trees born?
We get all of our trees here from the Willamette Valley area in Oregon. So we get them here, we plant them in the nursery. They live here for about 3 to 5 years. Then we see that they're ready to go to be planted out in the public right away.
So when there's a new city park or an old tree that's near the end of its life, Mike heads over to the Arboretum for a replacement.
Improving our canopy in the city of Boise is extremely important, and our city isn't a young city anymore, and so what grows up with your community is also your vegetation, and so our trees are getting older. Our canopy is reducing a little bit because of the fact that we have an older tree canopy throughout the city.
So even our trees come from out of state. Well, last year Boise City Council launched the City of Trees Challenge, hoping to plant 100,000 trees in 10 years by the year 2030. That would mean a tree for essentially every house within the city limits of Boise, according to Doug Holloway. But that would also extend outside of town. Part of the City of Trees Challenge is planting 235,000 seedlings in the forests that surround Boise. So if you have planted a tree within the last year, or you are planning to plant a tree within Boise city limits, they want you to log it, not cut it down, but put it down on their website to help get that 100,000 trees goal. That website can be found on ours in this story at ktvb.com.